My wife and I watched a romantic movie the other night featuring a plot which romantic comedies have been using since the very existence of the genre. The plot involved a pretty young lady being pursued by two men who could not have been more different. The first guy was a medical doctor, seemingly near perfect. He was loving and thoughtful and polite and hardworking and thoroughly decent. The second man worked in a coffee shop, and he was more of a fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants fella. But as romantic comedies have a way of doing, the script eventually led the lady to get interested in the coffee shop worker, and by the end of the movie she had broken off her engagement to the reliable, thoughtful, polite doctor to presumably marry the somewhat rude, party-going, fun-loving barista. This theme of a choice between a responsible, hard-working, but slightly boring man and a fun-loving, wild and crazy, high-energy man is frequently seen in romantic comedies, and they always end up the same way. The girl rejects the boring guy in favor of the fun guy, who's a bit naughty and irreverent, but he sure knows how to have fun. It seems clear that in the mind of Hollywood screenwriters, fun and spontaneity trump responsibility and decency every time. I'm sure that in real life, many a young lady has chosen excitement and fun over responsibility, diligence, and courtesy. But much of the time they have lived to regret it. What may appear exciting and fun in a man in his 20s will often morph into immaturity, laziness, and infidelity in his 30s, 40s, and beyond. Reliable, steadfast, consistent people are not really the most exciting people. Faithful people make it a point to be on time for appointments. They work hard at their jobs. They're self-disciplined and build righteous patterns and habits into their daily lives. They usually aren't the life of the party. They typically go to bed early and get up early. They're comfortable spending long hours at tedious work. They don't watch television all day. They don't get drunk. They don't take drugs. They don't tell dirty jokes. They don't put people down in an effort to get a laugh. They show up when they're supposed to show up, and they volunteer to help out in tasks that are neither glamorous nor fun. These type of folks would make lousy stars of reality television. They're far too boring for that, and there's not nearly enough drama in their lives. They just go about their business, living responsibly, fulfilling their duties, and keeping Paul's charge to mind their own business. But they are precisely the kind of children that our God desires. They do not die of drug overdoses. They do not end up going to rehab, and they do not wear glittery clothes that cost thousands of dollars. But the decency, the rock-solid character, and the gentle compassion for others make them a star in heaven's eyes. They bring glory to God, not through their razzle-dazzle, but through their day-to-day faithfulness to God, to their family, and to their friends. God's children come in many different flavors and personalities. Some are quiet, some are talkative, some are laid back, some are driven. Faithfulness does not have anything to do with a personality type. It has everything to do with consistency. When some men and women come to Jesus, they are incredibly lacking in this area. All their lives they've been flighty, scatterbrained, impulsive, and unreliable. But that's okay. The faithfulness we need is not our own faithfulness anyway. It is the faithfulness of Jesus Christ. He is the one who is called faithful and true. And as we walk with Him and He lives in us, measures of His faithfulness will begin to trickle out into our lives. Christ in us is truly the hope of glory, and He is likewise our hope of faithfulness, love, self-control, and every other virtue we need. When Jesus healed people, He sometimes commanded the lame to walk, or those with paralyzed arms to stretch them out. At first glance, this seems highly unfair. Jesus is commanding people to do the very thing they cannot do. But as they made those first halting efforts, they found that they could do it after all. That which had formerly been impossible was now happening. It turns out that with Jesus' command comes His power and His enablement. So it is with His command to us to be faithful. He says, "Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life." But He's not asking the impossible. That which He commands, He will also make possible by the power of His grace. Some may call us boring, but God calls us faithful.